So this video is going to be a mix of me talking about Markiplier's OF page and my issues with OnlyFans as a platform. The first half is going to be me complaining about OF, and then the second half is going to be me explaining why Markiplier using OF isn't bad, and basically why these disgusting OF girls are like mad that Markiplier isn't getting the same hate that they do. So yeah, let's get into it. OnlyFans. I hate OnlyFans. I really do. I think the only argument that I've heard claiming that OnlyFans is good for the internet and for society is that it's good for the economy, or that it's good for the creator who makes the OnlyFans content because, you know, they can just walk home with a big bag off of selling their body. And it is true that I would rather somebody be doing OnlyFans to make their money than, like, I don't know, robbing people, scamming people, selling drugs on the side of the street in San Francisco, obviously. That shouldn't be the bar that we have to work with. Like, I shouldn't have to hear somebody say, well, yeah, OnlyFans probably not the best career choice, but at least they're not doing this, or at least they're not doing that. Like, bro, come on, you're not a serious person. Okay, so I could really spend, honestly, like an hour ranting about OnlyFans and how it's like one of the most normalized yet destructive sites on the entire internet, but if I wanted to flesh out all of my thorough criticisms about the site, we'd be here for like 3 hours, so we're not gonna do that. I'm gonna sum up my basic arguments as to why I think the site is terrible. And then we're gonna talk about this recent Markiplier drama, and why all of the fatherless OnlyFans e-girls are complaining about, you know, gender imbalances. Why is nobody getting mad at Markiplier for starting an OnlyFans, but people call me disgusting for selling my body online for $3 a month? What's the difference? We'll get into all of that after I explain why OnlyFans is, like, actually a tumor on the internet. So we'll get into that in just a minute, but before we get into it, if you could please take a moment to leave a like on this video and subscribe if you are not yet subscribed. It's December, it's the month of giving. If you could just give me 1 like on this video and 1 subscribe to this channel, I would greatly appreciate it. And you'd be doing yourself a favor, so yeah, with that out of the way, let's get into it.
New AP, no time X. I'm right now and I'm next. Put the whole game on my neck.
I want to start this rant off by saying that it's good to know that even somebody as far gone as Anna Oop still has the common sense to understand that OnlyFans is definitely not good.
So, like, are we really starting an OnlyFans now once we immediately turn 18 years old? If that isn't creepy, y'all, then I don't know what is.
Now, don't get me wrong, that one clip isn't gonna make me change my mind on disliking Anna Oop, but it did feel good to see that she had given airtime to this, problem of teenagers, specifically teenage girls, starting OnlyFans accounts to sell explicit content on. Which basically leads me to my first main point, which is that OnlyFans has basically influenced the culture that we live in so impactfully that a lot of celebrities and people in general just have OnlyFans. So much to the point where OnlyFans model is probably on track to become the same type of label as like YouTuber or TikToker. It's gaining that level of normalization, and what that does is it basically makes it so that people are looking at this sort of thing with a different lens than they used to. Like what happened to the label of adult star, you know? If you were somebody producing explicit content on the internet, the label that was given to you was adult star. Now it's just OnlyFans girls, and the reason that label got shifted from adult star to OnlyFans girl is because, hate to break it to you, it's not adults making this content anymore, bro. It's like 18, 19-year-olds, which I guess, you know, legally, yeah, they're adults, but they're not old enough to drink legally, they're not old enough to smoke legally, they're not old enough to buy a pack of cigarettes, but they're old enough to sell their body to like 30-year-old grown men on the internet and literally post porn or nudes on the internet that will be there for the rest of their lives. Like, bro, these people's brains aren't done developing, and you're gonna tell me it's okay for them to just go out there and, you know, make an OnlyFans account by the time they turn 18, which is a real thing that's happening. Don't just think I'm making this up. The biggest example is Danielle Bregoli, or you may know her as that Cash Me Outside How About Dat girl from Dr. Phil a few years ago. Within a few hours of being 18, after turning 18, on the same day as her birthday, she signed up for OF. So either she was groomed by somebody, you know, older than her into making that account for money, or she was groomed by society at large into thinking that this would be an appropriate or good thing to do. And the saddest part of all of this is in 24 hours of making that account, she made $1 million. Actually, that's probably not the saddest part. The saddest part was the fact that people saw that information and thought it was a good thing. Like back when this happened, which I think was like a year ago, people were like, yep, that's how girls get it done. Take that, wage gap. I'm just like sitting there, jaw on the floor, at these people celebrating an 18-year-old on her birthday, selling either loot or nudes photographs of herself on OnlyFans. And like, dude, who is watching that? Like, there's literally no good demographic to be watching those videos, right? If the people looking at her content were younger than her, well, they're minors, okay? They're straight up children. Or it's people that are older than her, like probably some creepy old guys in their 20s or 30s. Like, there's no good demographic of people that could be watching that sort of content, like literally. But let's just play pretend for a second. Let's say the only people buying her account were other 18-year-olds and maybe 19-year-olds. Is that now okay? It's definitely not as weird as the other two options that I gave you, but bro, if you're an 18-year-old young man watching this stuff, go outside and get a girlfriend, okay? Stop fantasizing over these fake screen women and then go out and say hi to a girl, you know? Like, dude, like, seriously. But yeah, going back to my main point, there's a problem in society where young girls are feeling like they can make a lot of money selling their bodies on OnlyFans the moment they turn 18. OF is literally the most parasocial website out there. People who pay for OnlyFans subscriptions are worse than Dream stans, they're worse than K-pop stans, they're worse than, I think, any stan community on the entire internet. Look at a Dream stan. The average Dream stan watches his videos on YouTube for free. They really enjoy the type of content that he makes. You know, they follow him on Twitter, they maybe make their profile picture Dream's profile picture. But I would say most of them kind of know that they don't really have an ability to talk with Dream, you know, or become friends with Dream. That's not the case with OF, okay? So OF, literally, you usually pay anywhere from like $5 to $20 a month to gain access to a bunch of like photos or videos that are almost always explicit, but you're also paying for the ability to DM and contact the creator of the videos or whatever you're paying for. Now, considering the sexual nature of OnlyFans, what do you think these conversations are going to be about? Some down bad, fat, retarded 30-year-old man sliding into the DMs of a young 20-year-old who's like a 10 out of 10 on the attractiveness scale. What do you think he's gonna say? He's gonna be like, "Oh, my queen, I love you so much. Can we please go on a date?" And then obviously, because, you know, these girls don't want to lose their subscription money, they'll say, well, maybe, you know, they're not gonna just reject them. They have to lead them on, which leads into the cycle of the guy paying more and more money every single month because he thinks there's a chance that he could really connect with this girl. These OnlyFans models are incentivized and straight up encouraged to make the relationship with the people that buy their content as parasocial as possible. And OF themselves actually brag about this on their about page. I mean, look at this. OnlyFans messages are powerful. Every social media platform has messaging, but using messages on OF is one of the most powerful tools that creators have to connect with their fans and earn money. Like, they literally boast that you can exploit these down bad people that pay for your OnlyFans. Direct messages are essential to building a relationship with your subscribers and retaining your fans. Strap in, because there are countless creative ways that you can use messages on OnlyFans. They say it! They say DM them so you can make a relationship with them. Like, I'm sorry, bro, but OF is just basically diet prostitution. Whereas with, like, IRL prostitution, you're paying with a girl to have sex with her. On OF, you're paying monthly to get a fake relationship with a girl that you're never gonna be able to actually bag in real life, to see either suggestive or just, you know, straight up naked photos of her, and for her to talk to you. It's so pathetic, it really is. Like, imagine the outrage that would exist if Dream made, like, his own platform where people could pay $10 a month to have short conversations with him, and where Dream was, like, encouraged to basically make them think that he was their friend, so that they would stay paying money to talk to him. I mean, like, everybody would be all over that, calling it disgusting and manipulative, but for some reason, we're all just, like, so okay with OF. Like, let's just try to stay logically consistent here, boys. If you were on that train, which many of us were, of calling Dream out for basically making parasocial relationships with his audience, you gotta be anti-OF. So OnlyFans is weird because it's anti-men in the sense that, you know, men are the primary, you know, purchasers of content on that site, so they're just being used for their credit card. But it's also anti-women because women are just being used for their body. Like, who is benefiting from this? And it's gotten to the point where many women themselves come out and they've said, like, ladies, what are we doing? Like, we're more than this. They say stuff like, we want to call ourselves feminists because we believe that we're worthy of respect, but then we go out and en masse convince ourselves that basically selling our bodies is a respectable thing to do. And I think it's a great point. Like, you really can't be a feminist and be pro-OF. Like, I'm not really, you know, pro-feminist, but I'm just saying, if you want to view it from that lens, like, it doesn't really make sense. Really not even a feminist. Like, if you have any basic respect for women above seeing them as, like, property or things that you can look at in a lustful way, like, you should be anti-OF. And then vice versa, all the models on that site are literally having to train their brains into viewing men as nothing more than wallets. Like, they have to literally remove the humanity of every single man that pays a subscription for their OnlyFans and think of them as nothing more than like a plus $5 bonus to their monthly paycheck. So if you're pro-men, if you're pro-woman, if you're really pro-human, yeah, OF is bad, dude. Men, you're better than this. Don't be spending $5 on screen women. And women, you're better better than this. You're more than a screen woman. Go out there, be like an astronaut. I don't know. So yeah, that's my 10-minute OF rant. I wanted to just, air out a lot of my thoughts on that subject before we talk into what we are really here to talk about today, which is Markiplier starting his own OF page. And, kind of why I actually think what he's doing is a good use of the site. So if you don't know what's going on, I will quickly catch you up to speed. Around a month ago, Markiplier made it his mission to make his podcast with his friends be the most popular / most streamed podcast in the United States. He wanted people to blow up his podcast, and in return, he said, if you guys get my podcast to number 1 or top 5, I will be making a OF page. But he was clear with two things from the start when he made this announcement. Number 1, the content he would be posting would not be explicit, meaning like no prawn and no nudes. And 2, he wouldn't be keeping the money all for himself. All the money and all of the proceeds from this OF would be going to charity, That's a great thing. So basically, all of the problems that I listed with the site, when Markiplier uses it for what he's using it for, the problems kind of go away. So the content that he's actually posting is what he's calling tasteful nudes, where he's like, you can't see him naked because, like, the area is covered by something. And the content itself is basically, safe for work, if you get what I'm saying. Like, it's not actually, pornography. Now listen, I don't like that he's directing traffic to the site in general because, people go on OF just to subscribe to Markipliers. They're still gonna be on the site and making the site money, which I don't like. But like, if there is any sort of good that this site can be used for, it's probably like for what Markiplier's doing. So, I can't complain. Given the circumstance, it is what it is, and I think it's probably the best of a bad situation type of thing. I also think that Markiplier in general has a good heart, and I think a lot of these, OnlyFans models, both men and women, literally just want to like exploit desperate people for money, when we know that's not what he's doing because he's giving all the money to charity. Obviously, he doesn't need the money. He makes a lot from YouTube, so I think that's obviously a very good thing. So I would say Markiplier personally making an OF is a net positive. I guess you could argue that it's a net neutral, but I think it's probably, a net positive. I like charities. I think charities are good, and I think that, if what it takes to get people to donate to charity is to get them to subscribe to, Markiplier's OF, then I guess, that's just the state of the world. But we're here to talk about and explore the controversy that Markiplier's success on OF has caused. And no, it's not the controversy of people being mad that he's giving traffic to the website. That's totally out of the question. It's the controversy that girls are mad that when they make an OF and basically engage in digital prostitution, they're actually shamed by some people, including myself. But when Markiplier does it, he's not shamed at all. Let's read this tweet. I'm happy for Markiplier finding so much success on OnlyFans, especially since it's for charity, but the difference in public reaction when a man makes an OnlyFans versus when a woman makes an OnlyFans is quite disheartening. The amount of times I've read comments under a viral post about a woman on OnlyFans only to see a constant stream of hate and vitriol, but I've seen nothing but overwhelming support from Markiplier. Everyone in the business should be treated with respect. I just want to read that last sentence, okay? So, the difference in public reaction when a man makes an OnlyFans versus when a woman makes an OnlyFans is quite disheartening. Let's correct this, okay? The difference in public reaction when a man makes a safe for work OnlyFans, which is only for charity, versus when a woman makes her living off of uploading videos of her having sex and posting pictures of her naked body on the internet, is completely understandable. Your tweet would make sense if Markiplier deleted his channel and decided that he would, pursue his career on being an OnlyFans, like, actor, like he's doing it on OnlyFans and making his living off of it, but that's just not what he's doing at all, so your tweet instantly doesn't work. This tweet also says everyone in this business should be treated with respect. My sister in Christ, he's not in this business, he's a YouTuber. And, wrong, nobody in that business should be treated with respect. You can have sympathy for the reason they might be doing it, like if they're only making that videos on OF because they have to pay for bills and, feed their family, you can be sympathetic to those circumstances, but you can't respect it. Like, I'm sorry, but like, exploiting the primal urges of men to find love and intimacy in order to get like thousands of people to pay $5 a month is just like, dude, come on. I don't respect it. People like to say like, oh, dude, respect the hustle. They're getting their bag. It's like, wait, so are we gonna use that logic with like anything now? Like child labor? Are we gonna call the child labor employers like girl bosses who are getting their bag and, like hustling their way to the top? It's like, yeah, I don't think we're gonna be doing that. When when I think of somebody saying, like, I respect the hustle and, you know, go get that bag, I think of, like, back in 8th grade when I knew a kid who would buy sneakers and then he'd flip them and he'd sell them and he'd make profit. I thought that was sick. This kid used to buy sneakers from people for a low price, and then he'd find a client on Snapchat. He'd clean up the shoes, buy a box for it, and then he'd sell it for, like, I don't know, like 30 or 40 bucks more than he bought it for. Like, that's hustle. That's what that's about. But yeah, man, like, Markiplier is not one of you guys. Markiplier doesn't do what you guys do. Like, I clicked on the girl who made that tweet's OnlyFans link, and I didn't obviously subscribe to it, but I looked at the banner, and it's just her cheeks. They're just out. The difference between you and Markiplier is without your looks and your body, you're unemployed. Markiplier, he's sitting pretty. He's still doing the YouTube thing. Also, the beginning of the tweet is so funny, too. It's like, I'm happy for Markiplier's success, especially because it's for charity. No, I'm only happy because it's for charity. You understand? We're not the same. Most of why I'm not even mad at Markiplier is because this stuff is going to a children's hospital, okay? If he was pocketing the money, even though the content itself isn't explicit, I'd still be like, yo, bro, what are you doing? But yeah, dude, these e-girls with colorful hair who get piped on camera for $5 a month actually think they're worthy of respect. But yeah, I mean, that's basically it. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down spaghetti if you made it to the end of the video. Subscribe and follow my social medias, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.